What's up, guys? Welcome to the second tier list that I'm doing today. As you can see, is the Storm tier list, and Storm is probably the wizard I play the second most on after my life, so I decided I'd do this one second. And of course we're going to be doing the tier list a lot like we did the life one, so hopefully you saw that. So with the life one we did mostly on how good the spell is at the level and just overall, taking into account PvP, and then also, you know, look of the spell is also something as well. And again, I can't preface this enough with, this is my opinion, and of course it's going to be that way. Some spells I'm going to think are a lot better than maybe you think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But seeing as this is usually a pretty long video, let's jump right into it. Alright, first spell is the Crit Pierce Bubble for Storm. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put all these at the same space as my life, but I think this is a B spell. Situational is what I've been putting B tier as. Not great, not awful. Basically, you'll never use it unless it's like a specific situation where it's a boss you need a lot of Pierce. But then again, when you just rather use Shrike or something like that, so, or Infal, again, situational spell. Catalan, this is a really good spell. One of the better spells, I think. I want to put Catalan in A as a pretty average spell. I mean, 5 pips for 700 damage is a lot. That's a lot. But then again, that's what a lot of storm spells do. I like Catalan. Nah, I'm going to keep it in A. It's pretty good. It's harder to get because it's from Lore Master, but I still think it's a pretty good spell. It has that nice minus accuracy that makes it good in PvP. It does a decent amount of damage. Catch of the Day. Again, a pretty hard spell to get. It does less damage, but removes two charms. I don't think that's as good, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put that in B+. Plus, I mean, I like the way that the spells combine. Storm Shark and Kraken combine for this spell. The animation's not bad, but it's just not a... I don't like it as much. I use Catalan every time over this spell. Cleanse, dude. Cleanse is good. It's situational. I'll put it in B+, because you don't use it all the time. So I'm going to say it's not amazing, but Cleanse is good. Cleanse is very good. So I want to put it in B+, just because, you know, you have those plagues, you have those, God forbid, Ifrits that come with the bad jujus, those 90%. Cleanse is good in that regard. And it's 0 pips, which makes it really strong as well. Darkwind. Darkwind's not bad either. I'm going to put it out in B+. The extra damage is good. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Nothing special. It's definitely better than Crit and Pierce, I think. Just straight damage. Alright, Disarm. So Disarm is interesting. It's 1 pip, which makes it bad, and I don't know how many people I'm going to end up disarming. And most of the storm spells come with the disarm. So probably C. Probably just put it in C tier, as not amazing, but not awful. I don't know. Nah, it's pretty bad. Alright. Ooh, I think this is Dissipate. I can't see the name of this spell. I think it's Dissipate. It's the Storm Dispel. Spells are good. I'm going to put in B as situational, because I just don't think it's as good as some of the other dispels, like Life. I think Life is a lot better, so I put Life higher up. But Storm is just, it doesn't really do it for me, in my opinion. Enfeeble, I think is situational as well. 3 pips for removing all the blades is very good in certain spots, but I wouldn't use it all the time at all. I don't think that's worth it. So that's why I'm putting in B tier. I think it's very situational in that regard. Squall. Fucking Glowbug Squall is S+. As I put Pigsy in S+ for life. There are a few spells in this game. I think I'm thinking like maybe 7 that are S+ tier. Glowbug Squall is one of them. 5 spells in the Shadow. That means with a Pip deck and a Power Pip Wand, you can cast this spell first turn if you get a Shadow Pip. And the damage it does is ridiculous. There's no spell that's better than it still, to this day. It's still an amazing spell. Healing Current is, it's one of those, it's an RNG spell. It can be really good, it can be bad, but I think Storm getting a heal is pretty solid, so I'm going to put it in B+, just because Storm getting a heal. Storm is, of course, as everybody knows, the weakest school defensively, the least amount of health, and just awful resist stats in most of its gear. So I think it having a heal spell, if you're trying to solo, this definitely helps. Although it is 3 pips, which makes it really weak, and you can get 100 or you can get 1,000. Or the 400 somewhere between, so I don't know. I'll just put in B+ for now. Insane Bolt's kind of garbage. This is a super memey spell. One of the most meme spells in the game, but it's dog shit. I mean, you basically either insta-killing yourself, unless you have a ridiculous amount of shields on, or you're doing 1,000 moon damage, which I don't think boosts. Like, you don't get if you have 150 storm damage, I'm pretty sure that doesn't count towards your 1,000 moon damage. So I think it's pretty bad, which is why I put it in C tier. But it's memey, so I do respect it. I do respect it in that way. Iron Sultan. So this is better than Lamassu, in my opinion. I still don't think it's a great spell. But for the amount of damage it does, okay, I want to put it in B+ or B. It could really be in either. If you split it, it's definitely B or even worse, depending on how many times you split it. If you just use it on one person, which I'm guessing is what you do with it, I put it in B+, because that's a lot of damage for 4 pips in a shadow on one person. But again, for 1 more pip, you can hit everybody for barely more damage, or barely less damage. Come on. So, of course, I don't know. King Art. Alright, I guess we're just going to be filling up B tier, B+ and B. King Art's good. It's 8 pips. Yeah, I'll put it here. King Art's good. I like the King Art spells. They're pretty cool. Nothing really to say. It's regular-ass animation. What are you going to do? Kraken. I think Kraken's just good. Like, I wouldn't put it... Like, you get Kraken pretty early. It does a lot of damage for a while. And I don't think you use a spell until, like, Triton and... Triton and Stormzilla. You don't really using Kraken for a while. So yeah, it's way worse than Catalan, but Catalan's a lot harder to get. Kraken's really easy to get and a lot of good damage, which is why I'm putting in A. Leviathan. Leviathan hits like a truck, but it's just not as good as King Art. It's not as cool as King Art. I do actually really like the animations of Leviathan, but I do like the animation of King Art as well. But it's just B. I'd use King Art over it, and King Art's not a lot hard to get. It's just complete, get into crystals, I think. So, I don't know. Lightning Bats, A tier. Only because you use, again, like Kraken, use Lightning Bats a lot. All the time. They'll give very good damage at low. Alright. Ooh. Accuracy. So, this would be really bad, but it's 0 pips, and you don't get a blade. This is usually what you do to blade yourself. You'll first turn, if you don't have a pip on, you'll accuracy, and then into the Lightning Bats. I'm gonna put it in B. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's better than Guidance. I don't remember where I put Guidance. Who cares? It's my video. Put it wherever you want. I think it's B. It's not a bad spell, but it definitely isn't as good as some other things that you can have, and it does help a lot. Prisms are an A, as they always are. These might even be better, just because I train them on my life. I'll put them in A. I train my life just because the storms are usually the hitters, so it's really nice to have storm prisms, especially mass storm prisms. Anyone can train them, and they're really helpful. Duh. All right, you guys know what I think about these. Fucking D tier, awful. Get out of my deck. X pips, really? Who's ever gonna use that? Ever? Garbage. Minion. I think I put the last one in B. I think at this one's C. As a storm, when do you ever... You get these in Avalon, right? As a storm, when are you ever going to summon a minion? Wouldn't you just rather hit with the 5 pips that you have? Wouldn't you rather cast a Global Squall if you have a Shadow Pip, or a Catalan, or a Stormzilla? Why? Why? Bad. It's really bad. I don't like it. Alright, Calypso. God, this spell's pretty good. I can't see exactly how much damage it does right now, and I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember, because it puts on that 20 before, it's really good. I think I'm going to even put it in A. This spell is good. And it's cool. I like Calypso. It's definitely a good spell. It does a lot of damage for 4 pips. It's solid. So, A it goes. Rizalkas. I'm going to put this in A. It has that plus or minus 30% blade, which is really cool. I think that's a cool mechanic. It does a shit ton of damage, but it's just not, again, Glowbug Squall is way better. That's where the Glowbug Squall is going to live. So yeah, I don't know. That's why I just put Rizalka. Storms usually don't want to hit with one spell, you just want to use an AoE. Minion, sacrifice for pips. Kind of useless because you just summon the minion for pips, so why would you sacrifice it for pips? God, that has to be pretty bad. It's even worse than sacrificing it for a heal. Why? You're using a pip to do it, so you really only get 3 pips. What? It's a net gain of like nothing. I don't know. I think it's an awful spell. Sit down there and see, you chump. Alright, Torrents. Or Scion of Storm is actually really good. I remember Scion of Life I put in D, but this Scion's actually really good. It hits like a truck. I'm going to put it in A+. You can get that double damage, and you can crit as a Storm, and you just do so much on single target, single bosses. Like Corporal Tennyson, use your Scion of Storm, or your Scion of Fire if you want to hit with the fire. So good. Does so much damage. Mimic, smack that boy with the Scion. Lots of pips, but lots of damage. So it's very good. Sirens, I'm going to put in A+ as well. AoE Storm damage, very good. Not quite as good as Glowbug, of course, but and it takes off 2 charms, and it does a minus 50 accuracy to all, like a smoke screen kind of. That's crazy. That's really good. But I can't see it being better than maybe it goes. I'm gonna put an S. Sirens is very good. It's 9 pips, which makes it kind of bad, but at the same time, amazing. Alright, only because it's less pips than the X-Pex one. Screw those spells, they suck. Stormblade, A, obviously. All blades are going to be A, I think. All blades, all prisms. It's just good. They're good spells. Nothing great, just the blade, but it's a good spell. Stormlord is going to go in S as well. Sound goes in S, Stormlord goes in S, and I want to put Stormlord in S, so again, both very good spells. So to S they belong. Yeah, so I definitely think those 2 are amazing. Those 2 deserve to be up there. Storm Owl. Oh, and may I say, as I said before, 7 pip spells are my favorite in the game. I love them. I love Rebirth. I love Stormlord. And I love the other ones too, basically. Though, there's some that aren't as good as others. But Stormlord is not one of those. Storm Owl, I put it with Torrents. High pips, high damage. And you get Storm Owl a lot before Torrents. Like, Torrents is a lot better. Because it's 1 more pip for a lot more damage. If you get that double, if you don't get the double, it's not that much better. But Storm Owl you get at 88. In Torrents you get it, 125 at the start of Imperial Part 2. Storm Owl you have for, 40 levels? 40, 50-ish levels? Something like that. 40 levels, I think, ish. That's a lot before you get Torrents. So Stormlord is really helpful until you get that. Alright, Prisms are good, but it's not mass. So I'll put you in B+. As a good spell, but not a great spell. I don't know what to say. It's just a Prism, right? Storm Shark, good, but not great. I'll put you in B. I don't think Storm Shark's as good as Lightning Bats or as good as Kraken, but I still don't think it's that bad. Again, it's just a damage spell. It's storm damage, so it's good. Yeah. Storm Shield. Storm Shield's actually not that bad. I think it's situational, but Storm Shield is one of the better shields. I think Storm's very strong because in PvP, because Storms do a ton of damage, so having a Storm Shield is solid, but just carrying a single Storm Shield is not as good as maybe the dual shields like down here, carrying like a Storm and Fire, which we'll get to in another video, in the Ice video, which is actually pretty strong. Situational, B. Pierce split. When are you going to need 10 Pierce? Maybe. Situational. That's why it's down there. Traps, B+, because traps are good. As a Storm, you don't really use traps as much. I feel like you just put on multiple blades. I'm putting B. Situational. I feel like you don't... As a life, I feel like you use a life trap way more than you use a storm trap as a storm. So, that goes down there. But then again, who knows? Stormzilla, not as good as any of these spells up here for damage. In my opinion, I think it's down here with like Storm Shark. As a pretty good spell, but not a great spell. Supercharge. B. It's situational. It's a good spell in concept, but that's a lot of pips. It's a lot of pips. I just don't know. It's just not, I'd never use it. It's hard to use. Alright, Tempest. S+. Storm has 2 of the S+ spells that I was thinking of. I have a little, mini list in my head of like the 7 S+ spells, and these 2 are just so good. I mean, there's a reason that Storms are better at farming than Fire. Fire's still a good hitter, very good in PvP, but just straight up farming for stuff or killing enemies in the world, PvE type stuff, Storm is amazing because of those 2 spells there at the top, Tempest and Glowbook Swell. It happens. This shield. This double's not bad. Ice and Fire. It has Fire, which is pretty solid. I'm just going to put it here with the Storm shield. I think the definite best shield would be the Ice one. That might be a little bit higher up in that list. But as far as shields go, I think that one's pretty situational. Thundersnake belongs with all the rest of its brethren and pretty good, but not amazing. That's just such a low level too. You fizzle a lot more when you use Thundersnake. Like using Thundersnake at 1 to 4, 1 to 5, and you fizzle a lot in there. When you get to something like Lightning Bats or even Kraken, you start to get a little more accuracy in here, and definitely higher up. So Kraken's a little bit better because you're not really fizzling 30% of the time. And Triton's amazing. I love this spell. So cool. And this had the highest damage, single damage in the game when I played back in the day. Back when I started, Triton was you need to smack Malastare for a lot of health. Malastare and Dragonspire, not in Darkmoor. You use Kraken, or you use Triton. That's how it is. Water Elemental. These are good in like low PvP, aren't they? And solo questing, maybe? I don't know if I'd waste my pips on this, even solo questing. Just use Tempest TCs. I guess situational B. There's a lot of B in this, but yeah. Poor Leviathan. What did it do to get down here with all these non-damage spells? Theoretically, it should be in like this. Fuck it. I'm not moving it. You suck. Wild Bolt. Situational. I don't know where else to put Wild Bolt. I think Wild Bolt's not as good as some of the other spells, for sure. I think it's super memey, just like Insane Bolt. It's definitely better than Insane Bolt, in my opinion, because you do get that storm damage, and it definitely doesn't smack you for 10,000 health. So I would say Wild Bolt's a little bit better, but I don't think it's that great. You know what? Please, you use Wild Bolt if you want to troll and kill Jade Ani or something. I don't know, but stick to some other spells for surreal stuff. And that brings us to our last spell, Windstorm, which is actually not bad. I'm going to put in B+. Because Windstorm, again, Storm likes blading because it has these AoEs. Look at what's top of my list. AoE spells, very good, especially for Storm. Some schools are not as great with AoEs, but Storm wants AoEs, it wants blades, it wants stuff like Windstorm, it wants, Dark Wind, stuff like that. And so Windstorm should be up there because it does get everybody. It's only 1 pip, and that's not bad. 1 pip for a trap on everybody that's 5 less than this is pretty solid, I think. But, that's my opinion. This is my tier list. I think it's pretty solid. Let me know if you think in the comments what you would change, what you might think should be different, and let me know how you like these videos so far. I'm actually having a lot of fun making these. These are awesome. I don't know what school I'm going to do next. We'll see. I plan on doing the death one with Joey at least, because he is our resident death wizard on our team. So we'll see how that goes. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And it's been Eric. Have a great day.